Hey, everybody, and welcome back. So, we finally got a win. We finally got a win against corporations, against the companies that take advantage of us, average citizens, the ones who gouge us when it comes to ticket sales for events, for concerts, anything like that. For example, Taylor Swift, soccer, hockey, um, the MLB playoffs for Toronto Blue Jays, where you have companies, private individuals come in, swoop up all the tickets with bots, and then resell it for two, three, four, five times the sticker price of the original tickets. So we finally got a win. And it was all thanks to Doug Ford. Except he's the one who postponed this new legislation ever since 2018. So what I'm talking about, if you haven't heard, is Doug Ford is finally going to put forth legislation to discipline websites, individuals, companies, and anything like that that will swoop in, take all these tickets with their bots, and sell them multiple times more than what the sticker value is. But again, like I said, he's the one, his government is the one who took this legislation off the table back in 2018. We're now in 2026. That's 8 years ago. And all of a sudden now he sees the lights where he feels that they've taken advantage of us long enough, which looked like to him they never did before 2018, that now's the time to put forth legislation to punish these people. How many of you out there have been screaming from the top of your lungs that the government should be doing something? Something should be done, some sort of rules, regulations, something to rein in these bots. I thought Doug Ford was a man of the people, went to the streets, talked to the average man, heard their concerns. But now all of a sudden he does and he wants to do it. My opinion, it's to distract everybody from the Freedom of Information Act that he's reversing. He's trying to give us peasants a little scraps to make us think, oh my God, he's doing things good for us, that he's man of the people, that we're good now, we're going in the right direction, and we don't have to worry about the Freedom of Information Act that he's taken away. So that any corruption that he's done or going to do, there's very little resources for us to go and investigate or hold him accountable, him and his party. Now, this is great timing. Again, I'm not disappointed at the physical legislation. This is way overdue. Everybody, there's not a person out there that cannot justify why this is not needed. Well, except the companies out there or the people who are selling those tickets. No one out there can justify why this law should not be in place. Be 100% support for this law. So let's want you to show you the original reason why this was taken away back in 2018. And of course, who loved this decision back in 2018? So as we can see, this was posted back July 4th, 2018. New Ontario government puts brakes on anti-scalping law. Ontario has quietly shelved a key part of a controversial anti-scalping law that would have capped prices ticket scalpers can charge to fans of live music and sports. Premier Doug Ford office confirmed late Tuesday his government is suspending a portion of the law introduced by the Liberals that would have outlawed resale of tickets at markups of more than 50% above face value, which was set to take effect July 1st. So the Liberals, the previous Liberal government, put forward a law, and they said, no, we can't do it. It's not good. And then listen to the reason why. The previous government attempt to institute a cap on tickets resales with no way to enforce that cap, resulting in less consumer protection Ford spokesman Simon Jeffries wrote in an email statement. What do you mean, no protections? The law is protections. I can understand their concern on how we're going to enforce that law. That's a legitimate concern. Okay, but still have that law in place. So while you're trying to figure out how you're going to enforce it, you can modify it. But taking the whole thing away and allowing the market to go gangbuster, the Wild West of what we've had for the last 8 years. You know, the Taylor Swift concerts, thousands upon thousands of dollars for resale, and the bots coming in. I remember my wife trying to get tickets for concerts technically close by, or at least you can maybe fly to. The flight was 10 times cheaper than the physical tickets. While portions of the law banning ticket buying bots remain in effect, they still do it. It's unclear what the new government would do instead to curb skyrocketing prices on resale websites such as StarHub, Ticketmaster, and SeatGeek. Those seem like big corporations. Listen to the response of these companies when the Ford government reversed their decision to punish them, like any company that would resell it. Like buying it is one thing, I understand, because it's difficult. But to resell it, that was the main thing that the Doug Ford government took away. So capping resale prices has been vigorously opposed by scalping websites, which praised the move by Ford's new Tory government. Wow, what a surprise there. This is a very rational and prudent decision, wrote Patty Ann Tarleton, Chief Operating Officer for Ticketmaster Canada, which has been aggressively expanding into the resale market. Wow, that's resale market because there's a huge markup and they plan to make a lot of money on those resale tickets on top of selling the original tickets. I think that's a win-win for them. Why wouldn't they be happy? The pause, Tarleton said, will make time to evaluate the anticipated impact of the law. You know what the impact of the law would be? Your bottom line. You guys would not be able to potentially make as much money as you have been doing for the last 8 years. That's what the impact of the law would have been. StarHub said it is pleased by the move, which, according to a statement from spokesperson Cameron Papp, ensures that sales occur on platforms that provide virtual customers protections. I can understand their reasoning on protections for scams, like false tickets, fake tickets, like, a lot of scams you've seen on Facebook. But what about the protections for consumers, where now they have to spend 4 to 5 to 6 times more than the face value of those tickets just to go see the events? Because people who have the resources for bots were able to buy all the tickets. What about those protections? They didn't care about those protections because they won't make as much money. So guys, this has nothing to do with protecting Ontarians. This is only a deflection for what's going on with Doug Ford and his scandalous Freedom of Information Act, where he's removing the ability for anybody to request any information on files, his phone records, and anything else, so they can be transparent, which they boast about all the time, that we can scrutinize their decisions, which we have the right to, because we're the voters. They work for us, and we want to know to make sure they're representing us correctly. How do we know they're representing us correctly on this bill? Would we be able to request any information on how they came to this decision? Maybe they were talking to StarHub, GitHub, whoever. Maybe there was a backroom deal on that. Maybe there's provisions in the law that there's going to be loopholes, so that gives the impression that they're going to be protecting us. Just like the original one, where they took out disciplining the companies reselling or just hosting the resale of these tickets, but they didn't. They only left the bots, something they cannot, or very difficult to counteract, because it was very easy to discipline those companies hosting the resale because you can see it. There's evidence. There's a trail. So they can get fined. But of course, at the same country club, golf course, whatever, the gym, they talk. They go to the same dinners, events. They talk. And Doug Ford got influenced back in 2018 to make sure they took that provision out. Now, he stands to lose more in this freedom of information than he does pissing off some of these companies. Again, we don't know until the law has been put forward and see what provisions or loopholes they've left in. So maybe it gives the impression, because a lot of people, guys, a lot of you guys out there are not deeply invested in politics like I am or other people. So you go by headlines. So the headline, and he's banking on that, is Doug Ford to protect Ontarians of resale scalpers. Everybody thinks that's great. A lot of them don't know that he's the one who reduced that law back in 2018. Again, the image to show that he's for the people when he's not. So please don't be fooled. This is nothing. He's going to leave something in for his corporate buddies, or they're going to be able to pivot in a different way that the law has not taken into consideration. 8 years. 8 years to analyze how to do this. And from all the articles out there, it doesn't look like they've changed anything. Doesn't show a plan, doesn't look how they're going to enforce it and everything else. It's no different than what they had back in 2018, except for 2018, they were only capping at 50%. Here is nothing more than what the face value of the ticket was, which he could have done back then. There was no need for consultation then. Such a redirect. It's just so much corruption in his party. It's unbelievable. He's throwing a bunch of things out there just to make everybody look squirrel. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. If you're happy with this new law, which you're going to take that win, but why did it take 8 years? Anyways, guys, take care. We'll talk later.